DJ crew.
Good morning, everyone. Happy spring.
Yes.
Hope everyone enjoyed the eclipse. We've had a great International Women's Month. A lot of good activities here at the Senior Center. It's Wednesday, April 10th, 9:30 a.m. This is the monthly meeting of the Shrewsbury Council on Aging Board of Directors. We adhere to the open meetings law and follow Robert's rules. These meetings are streamed by the Town of Shrewsbury Cable and may be found also through the Shrewsbury Town website. I'm Alex Roman, chairperson of the board, and I'll let everyone introduce themselves by, Betsy, do you want to go first?
Betsy Zaweg.
Rachel Kleiman-Wexler.
Lori Jones.
Jean Campanello.
Holly Luke, Director.
Renee D'Argento, Outreach Coordinator.
Meena Sharma.
Okay, welcome everyone. Let's see, we do not have a representative from the Shrewsbury Senior Center. and
Friends.
Friends.
From the Friends, thank you. And my tablet went to sleep, so I don't, have the agenda. So, the minutes. Any edits, or is there a motion to accept the minutes? You have
I have a
correction?
motion to make an edit. On page 3 of the minutes, under programs, the Yahoo Student Board is mentioned, but there's no indication of what that's about, and I think it needs to be expanded upon just a little bit, that they will be addressing the issues and taking over the program as a voluntary group.
Okay.
What section is that in?
It's
C.
under C, under programs,
Oh, I'm looking.
director's report.
Hold on.
It's on the top of page 3. Just a clarification.
And what would you like to have there?
Just why we're talking about the Yahoo Student Board. We're not indicating that they are now going to be taking over the volunteer activities for that.
Okay, I need a little more information so I get the way you want it.
I'm missing it too, so I don't know what needs to be done there.
If I may, I think what Jean's saying is just a little clarification that it's an intergenerational opportunity where the volunteers will actually be running the program themselves under the umbrella of the COA.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Well
so,
said.
so they will be taking on the responsibility for organizing it.
Any intergenerational volunteer program, we want the students to run.
Okay,
Okay.
I will
Any other-
work on that. Thank you.
Any other corrections to the minutes? If not, is there a
Motion to make, accept the minutes as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approved. Okay, we now have Maria Smith joining us from the Friends. Would you like to address the board, Maria?
Sure, just a quick little update.
Can you come up to the front
Yeah.
there,
Okay, sorry.
please?
There's a microphone on the desk.
Okay. Just a quick little update with our membership. We are growing slowly but surely, but we are at 265 members now, so every month we seem to go up a few, and we actually are getting people to sign up to actually be volunteers. I mean, we are all volunteers, but to help with the different functions and things like that. So that's exciting to me. We are moving along with more programs. We've had some great programs recently with informational, educational type of things, and I think we did it sometime in the past with this navigating the healthcare highway. It was well-received. Mark agreed to actually, put it on the cable station, so that was great because some people that were not able to make it were very interested in the information that they had to share. And all of the professional presenters had materials available and said that, if anyone wanted them after the fact, that they gave them their personal numbers and said, contact me directly and we'll answer any questions. So that was great for a different type of program. that I felt was really important, having been in the situation myself a while ago. It's a daunting task to be a caregiver or have, a spouse or a family member that you're responsible for all of a sudden, and you just don't know where to go. And I thought that they did an excellent presentation, and everybody said it was well received. So that was exciting. We have another birthday in May that we will be celebrating for a centenarian. Lives at Francis Gardens. So it's a little easier for me when they live at a facility like that to be able to check in to see if they're still with us. That's my biggest challenge with, I don't want to be embarrassed and show up at someone's house and have them not be with us anymore. So that's the biggest challenge, as I said, that we have. But this gal, I know from other people that live at Francis Gardens, said is alive and well. So we're looking forward to that on May 22nd to celebrate that as a birthday. And it was wonderful in the last newsletter to be able to have the space to actually show people pictures of these centenarians that we've celebrated recently. And that generates more family members that become aware of this program that we do and come forward. So it's nice to be able to have a celebration with the cooperation of the family, if they have one. Renee and I are still moving along, chugging for the sensory garden. We are thinking to do some type of a thermometer to show the progress for donations. My question is, location to be able to put this. We want to be able to mark off as we get the donations and hopefully meet our goal, so that it's a visual. Because people maybe that have missed it in the newsletter or wherever else we're promoting it, if they drive by and it's visible either here, I'm hoping in front of the town hall, or perhaps up where the old Beal was. I know that they allow signs up there. Thinking of doing a sizable visual. Can you enlighten me as to, do I need to get permission from someone to put it wherever, and restrictions? I just don't know. I don't want to step on it.
I think Holly you could follow up with the town to see where that would work.
Yeah, and I know that any signs that go up anywhere, as I'm sure you know, have to be first okayed by, I believe.
Building department?
It might be building department, or I can check with town managers and things like that. But I think that's a really great idea.
Okay. So you let me know
Yep.
then? Okay.
Could it maybe, sorry,
Go
could it
ahead.
maybe also place one small size in the senior center? Just to kind of mirror the one that is going to be out in the street somewhere?
Good idea.
Just to mirror, so people see where we are, get excited, maybe even
Maybe we
feel.
could do, at the senior center, do like a tent sign, so that it could be moved,
Yep.
From inside to outside. And I think that's a great idea, because certainly people, if they miss it, wherever we're going to be able to put it, it's right there. And would maybe generate some questions and more donations. I mean, that's the name of the game. The people that I've talked to so far in town are really excited about this project. So I'm hoping that their excitement will translate to dollar bills so that we can accomplish it. But I think once we're, really in the throes of things, we're thinking of doing a mailing. We're still working on that. But I think it's important, and I know Renee has gotten plastic containers to put the actual little brochure throughout the town, different places that they'll allow us to do it, at the library, and I know certain businesses that will allow us to do it as well. So that's moving forward, and excited about that.
Question.
Yes.
Would it be possible to wait for the mailing after you get the thermometer up? Because that could play into that, because you could, say this, watch for how we grow
Our progress, yeah.
at our where the sign is in the two locations. And then between that and the newsletter, then have the mailing go out, because then it's, from an advertising standpoint, you want 7 touches, so the
Right.
mailer, the visuals, and then we'll have people word of mouth, and then through whatever social media that we have going on, because then we have multiple layers, and that I think it will just help.
Great idea.
Raquel?
Just a question or clarification. The donation will be a recognized donation?
Yes, so it will be recognized, any donation under $500 will be recognized individually and anonymously in our newsletter and in any local publications and on social media. Donations of 500 or more will be placed on a plaque in the sensory garden to the entrance.
Will it be an approved donation? Like we're donating it to the city, or where is it donation going to?
So the
Is it something
donation,
that's approved like for tax deduction?
yes, so the donation is for the sensory garden only, for construction and/or maintenance of the sensory garden. And we worked with the town to discover that the donations are tax deductible according to IRS Code Section 170C. This will be on the pamphlet and on the newsletter.
Okay.
Provides that contributions to municipalities for public purposes are tax deductible. Applicability to individuals may vary, and consult your tax professional.
Yeah, it should be mentioned.
Yeah.
That's great.
So,
Thank you.
so the thermometer will show contributions that go through the Friends as well as directly to us?
They will always come
Come to us.
through us.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right, great.
Thinking of signage, I know I've mentioned this in the past. I really would love to see a bigger sign out front, like maybe adjacent to the huge EV sign that we have for the senior center. There are still people that really don't know where we are, and that's people in town. So is there, who would we need to approach to do that?
Probably town management,
Okay.
yeah.
So would you suggest sending an email, a letter, just to get the ball rolling? I mean, I'm not looking ginormous, but the one we have is literally this big. At least if we could have one, even on that same post, the size of the precinct sign would be helpful.
Yep, so I could certainly send a message over to the town manager's office and get their response, and I can fill in everybody.
Isn't
Great.
this kind of
Yes.
a senior sensory kind of issue too? I mean, if we're going to be a dementia-friendly and senior center-friendly, seniors sometimes need things that are better visually.
Right.
So I think from that angle, it's really kind of important that we have big signage so that people can find it, not just for everybody else, but especially for the seniors trying to get where they want to go.
Good
So-
point.
Yep, so I know for a fact that Casey, because she's leading the Dementia Friendly Initiative, is meeting with the action team next week, so I can put this on her agenda to actually speak to, because there's a lot of select board members that are on there, other departments in there, so I think that would be a good time to mention that.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
on that note, I was just wondering, I've always wondered about the sign out in the front for the town hall, whether the senior center could be added because it is a separate building. I mean, is that ever a possibility, and would that be a good thing?
You have to
Yeah.
ask.
Should be.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And lastly, we have our annual meeting and luncheon coming up, May 13th. We invite all of the board to attend. We're going to use a kind of a birthday celebration theme, because once a year, we as the Friends do a program celebrating all the birthdays, all at once, at one, program that we have. So we're thinking to make it a real celebration, we will do it at the time of our annual meeting. We've chosen not to have entertainment any longer at the meeting because it's distracting, and we find that we're encouraging people to engage and be social and converse, and it's distracting. They really want to be able to sit and chat and catch up with people that they haven't seen in a while. So we thought the underlying theme would be a huge celebration for birthdays, and we'll do that by having our dessert be a huge birthday cake. So I think that will make more sense than what we've done in the past. And my last question or issue is with the programs that we have and the timing and the breakdown of the room. We've been asked that we need to, if the function goes beyond 2:30 because the custodian is off duty at that time, that we need to break down the room wherever we are.
Okay, I
I
would
just-
suggest, if I may, that you follow up with Holly. I mean, this isn't really a board policy issue, it's a operational.
Okay,
But I understand, I mean, a couple people mentioned that to me when I was at your last meeting.
okay. All right. Well, that's all I have, so thank you.
Great,
Thank you.
Thank you.
all right.
I had a question.
Yes, Minu.
So from Mary, so you mentioned like there are a couple of folks, like there's one person who's turning 100, right? So when you have such occasions, do you publish that on like Facebook pages, like major, like we have Shrewsbury Town Community page, which has over 17,000 people? Something like that that could inspire a lot
We
of town
haven't,
people.
but it's a great idea because this year in the town of Shrewsbury, we have 13 people turning 100. We've already celebrated 3, and
I mean,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, they will have a lot of inspiring stories that everybody could be curious to listen what made them to reach that much.
Well, we always ask what their secret to longevity is, and you would be amazed at the answers we get from these Jerrys.
Yeah.
The best one was the last birthday that we celebrated. She said, "You have to do and try everything," was her main thing that she said. And she said, "Wine is really good." So I promptly I found out what kind of wine she liked, and I gave her that as a birthday gift, and she was so excited. She opened the gift and she held up this beautiful bottle of wine, and she went, "I'll have this later." She was adorable.
Yeah. So yeah, something like that would really be interesting for all the town people also to know what works for them.
I have always sent it to Dave at the Community Advocate, and sometimes if he has room, he will put a picture in and put a little blurb. Other times, obviously, space is limited, so we don't always make it in there, but it's great to have it in our newsletter.
The other question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the other question I had, like regarding the thermometer sign, would it help if we could have multiple signs in like the same sign, say in front of the church where a lot of people go every Sunday, or like say a market basket, something like that, at least 2 or 3 where a lot of people go and.
Different parts of town,
yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
I guess it all depends on, I know that they're really strict about signage in town. I mean, they dictate the size and the location and how long it can be there, so that's something, it's a great idea, but we'd have to explore it to see if it would be allowed. Thank you.
Judy?
The only other question I have is for publicity for the birthdays. You do get permission from the family
Good
to
point.
do the posting. I just want to,
Yes.
in this day and age of identity theft and
Yes.
things like that, you just want to make sure that it's okay with the family to do
Yes.
that, I would think.
We have, and we usually have a professional photographer too, so they're very happy. We share the photos with them after, and they love that. There's some really great shots, and some of the birthdays that we have celebrated in the past, unfortunately, they're not with us any longer. One of the very first ones that we celebrated, the woman was actually 102. We celebrated her 102nd birthday because it was during COVID, so she couldn't celebrate her 100th birthday.
Oh.
And she since then just passed this past year. And I went to the calling hours and everything with the family, and they said that was the most memorable thing for her, that she just said, "I can't believe it. They came and they celebrated, and I felt just like Miss America," because, I mean, I now have sponsors. We were doing this all ourselves, but now, because the word has gotten out, people in the town, like Danielson sponsors, and they donate the flowers, and Nothing Bundt Cakes donates the birthday cake, and the photographer donates his time, and
That's really
at the
nice.
last function that we had with the people from assisted living and all of that, they got word of it and said, "Please let us know. We would love to participate and help you sponsor." So I think it's a great thing. The word is getting out, slowly but surely. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right, financial reports.
Yes, we're gonna concentrate on the full financial, instead of the totals. That way we have a little bit of discussion. So if everybody has that ready, we always start with the general fund. You'll notice that I orange highlighted, I thought that was the best color to kind of pull. And then I grayed out the things that, again, are munis made that really aren't relevant to our discussion. So with that, we will begin. So general fund, and we'll have to scroll. I am on page,
And which tab are you on?
So which file are you now in?
we're in the full financials.
The one you send the initial email?
The one that I sent with all the agenda resources.
So the initial email.
In which tab are you on then?
So the spreadsheet, the munis spreadsheet. This is our link.
Oh, okay. You can keep going.
Okay. So, on page 5, longevity, we've discussed this before. Longevity is for Cynthia Willis, who has been with the town for 28-plus years. She receives an extra $350 annually. Keep scrolling. So, on page 6, we start to talk about the general fund operation portion of finances. I should have brought my mouse. And so we're on page 8. So it goes into hospital and medical. We started out with $660 for that line, hospital and medical. All right, what's the matter, Raquel?
I only have 6 pages, so
So must be on the total financial and not the full financial.
You did
They're
what I
two
did.
separate documents.
The full financial came in a second.
so that's why I
The
asked,
second
is it the
email,
first
right?
email or
Nope.
the
No, it
second?
came in with the
They're
original.
side by
email.
side on the attachments.
Yeah, if you go back to the email with the agenda,
Yeah, I am in there.
It's the
so
email
one of them
from,
says full and one of them says, what does the other one say?
Totals.
Totals. We want the full.
This is
from
a,
April 4th.
yeah, that's what I'm at. That's okay, just, I'll forget it. It's okay.
Hospital and medical.
To page 8, and this happened to mine as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay,
I think you're
Okay.
thank you.
Yep, so hospital and medical is created for the van drivers, so when they get their physicals. So you can see that we started out with $660 at the beginning of the year, we now have $330 remaining. Below that is services not classified. As I mentioned, it's those things that we don't think about, that we need to budget at the beginning of the year, but we started with $4,000, and the total for services not classified is $2,144.02.
Holly, do you have any idea of what those issues were that came out of that line
Yep.
item?
So if you look right above, you can see a few of them. We had to replace a stove, we had a refrigerator repair that we had to do. We needed to re-sign the veteran signage at the senior center. So it says it all right above that 2,144.
And the original, it says original budget was 4,000. So,
So we have $2,144.02 left for the remainder of this.
so we're actually tracking pretty well. Okay.
So then we'll keep scrolling. If I can get my, and there we go. Sorry, my,
So on the next page, we are down to 0 balance for printing and postage.
yep, so on page 9, print postage, that is part for our newsletter. We started with 2,000, we're at 0. It does cost roughly $4,500 right now for the year for us to mail, so we take the additional funds that we need out of the formula grant.
Okay.
Then it talks about office supplies. This is. I'm sorry, I'm having problems here. So office supplies, we started with $1,000. We are at 0, so we have spent everything that we've had for office supplies. Anything additional that we need, we will take out of the formula grant. Below that is car allowance mileage, so any staff member that uses their cars for business purposes, they're reimbursed. We started with $1,000, we're at $649.04. Below that, we talk about dues and memberships, so those are our, our partnerships with MCOA, NCOA, and again, there's a bunch of acronyms that I could sit here and talk about, but we don't have to do that. But that's where the dues and memberships are. So we started with $2,085, and we're at $11.64. Below that is training and conferences. That is, again, for any staff member to do. We started with $3,000. We've expended all of those funds, so it is a zero balance. And if we keep scrolling down, on page 13, we start to talk about the Elder Affairs Grant, the Elder Affairs Grant, otherwise known as the Formula Grant.
Underneath.
And you can keep scrolling down. Now, as a reminder, this year we received $40,000 more because it went up from $12 a senior to $14 a senior. There is chatter that MCOA and Executive Office of Elder Affairs are working with the state to try to even increase that to $15 a senior. So perhaps that will happen next year. My guess it was probably will be more like fiscal year '26. So you'll see that on page 23, there is that negative balance. So what happened is we did receive the other half of the payment from the state. However, it was deposited into the wrong account. So right now, at this present moment, accounting is working to make those corrections and to put it where it's supposed to be.
So where it was deposited into?
It was actually deposited into a Mass DOT account. So Casey and I were going through the Munis and we're like, okay, we know that they sent us the check, where is it? And then Casey found it in the Mass DOT part. So then we've been working with accounting for the last couple of days to have them transfer those funds.
Reclassify.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay? So we'll have a more accurate update for May. Again, because Munis is not real time. So keep scrolling down. On page 35, it talks, you can see that the account for the Senior Center Garden Fund, it is right there, but you have to, and it shows a balance of $5,150. And that is on page 36. Then on page 36 also, it talks about the gift fund. So the gift fund, the donations that we receive from the community. And the balance right now to date is $15,873.73. Keep in mind that a portion of the gift fund was used to assist with the MCOA grants that we had. We have not yet received reimbursement for them. We did reach out to Massachusetts Council on Aging to kind of inquire, where are these funds? They are themselves waiting for the funds from Executive Office of Elder Affairs. So there's a couple, it's like a circle that we have to go through before we get those funds. But we will get them before the end of fiscal year '24.
And then replenish the gift.
Yep,
funds.
as soon as we get them, yep. And then on page 37, the revolving fund is used for our COA town white vans. And just looking for totals. And on page 41, last page, we have we started out this fiscal year with $20,031.20. We were at $12,742.07.
I'm sorry, that's at the very end?
Yep, page 41.
Got it.
Any questions on finances?
Which is
Holly,
basically
so
debt
on
services, what
Page
is it?
36, you had garden fund, right?
Yep.
That's $5,000 we have right now?
5,150.
So is there a time frame by which you want to raise this fund through the thermometer sign and all, like, or is it like ongoing
It's ongoing.
all the time?
Yep. Even after I think that Renee raises the funds for it, we still, upkeep and things like that. So we'll always be accepting donations.
If there are any existing funds left at the end of the fiscal year, do they go back to the town or do they stay in our budget? Can we turn them over?
Anything left in the general fund goes back to the town. Anything in the formula grant, any of the other accounts, it's ours.
Stay with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay.
And it's,
Oh, I lost my
that's
agenda.
okay.
All right, Director's Report Outreach.
Okay. Hi, Renee D'Argento, Outreach Coordinator. So I'll just start with some of the benefits programs. So fuel assistance deadline is May 12th, so for people who want to apply for that, if you need any information, an application, or need assistance with that, that's something that I help you with. Right now, the weather is nice, but for people who are having an emergency because they've run out of fuel oil, there are still plenty of funds left for that. If you've applied for fuel assistance and you're waiting, or you haven't applied yet and you need to, and you're waiting for a delivery but you can't afford it, the town can provide through that account 100 gallons of oil from Al's Oil. And then we expedite the application with SMOC so that you receive your fuel assistance, but then at least you don't have the fear of running out of oil. Also, there are heating system repair programs and replacement. I think there's still money left in that account that SMOC works with. I think they work with a state department on that one. And that's for people who, are in need of replacing or repairing their furnaces. They've done, that I know of, at least 4 oil tank replacements. A lot of homes that were built, in the 40s and 50s, the oil tanks are coming at the end of their life, and they're leaking, and they'll replace that as part of the program. And you would need to apply for fuel assistance to have that kind of a program and participate. Also, there's been a lot of talk about the Selco Internet Assistance Program, which is really wonderful. I've processed a bunch of applications, and I think Selco has done a really great job getting the word out there for seniors who can get a $20 discount off their monthly internet bill. And there are 3 requirements for that. One is if you live in the Housing Authority housing. The other is if you've applied for fuel assistance. And the third one is, what's the third one? My goodness. Oh, if you participate in a personal tax exemption program with the town. They're very specific on that. It's not for people with tax work-off or anything like that.
How many of those criteria are necessary?
Just one of those. Yeah. Another program which I've processed several applications that the town is trying to get out there, because we have ARPA funds that are still available. It was partly available for the heating assistance program, and they've made it more broadly available for utilities that are people who have utility bills that are late. That are, having an ongoing problem paying them, and also for mortgage and rent assistance. So basically, they will cover utility bills up to $1,000, or rent or mortgage assistance up to $2,000. And there are criteria for that. One of them is applying for fuel assistance. Another is if you're looking for mortgage or rental assistance, you need to apply to there's a program, now I'm losing the name of the program because I don't have it written down here, but there's a program that the state through different organizations like SMOC or RCAP Solutions that provides rental assistance, and you have to apply for that program in order to receive the additional funds from the town. And these funds are available through the end of November or until they run out. So if anybody has any questions, contact me on that. So for programs that we're running, we have 3 in April. We have a program from the vascular group. They're going to be doing something on understanding venous disease on Monday, April 24th. And they're going to be serving coffee and bagels. And hopefully there'll be people who attend. We had for National Heart Month, we had a program in February. And venous disease is a huge contributor to heart and stroke problems in seniors or others. So that would be something that I hope people would be interested in. We also have a program on Social Security, What You Need to Know. That's on April 16th from 4:30 to 5:30. I do get people now and then asking questions about Social Security and, you know, when should they apply for it and that sort of thing. So it's the whole ball of wax. It's a great presentation, and there will be opportunities for people to ask questions, personal questions, and things like that. We also have an attorney doing a wills and trusts and durable powers of attorney program, healthcare directives. That's on April 29th. We do get quite a lot of questions regarding legal issues, and especially on wills and estate planning. And so Attorney Demian Tabaldi has volunteered to do that, and he would like to do a series of programs at the senior center, so we'll be looking forward to that. In May is National Osteoporosis Awareness and Prevention Month, so we're actually going to have V&A Care on site doing a program on osteoporosis prevention, and they're also going to be, for anyone who attends, up to a certain number of people, we have to figure out, I think it'll be up to 15, who will be able to have a scan to see what their risk of osteoporosis is. Let's see.
When is it?
A scan where? Here?
Here. So typically, I've had it done at health fairs myself. They do it on the
Heel.
ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a bone scan,
It's actually I don't know if it's an ultrasound machine or whatever it is, that they put something on the ankle, and then I guess they can tell from that how the condition of your bones and if they're showing signs of osteoporosis.
I think it's a bone density scan.
Bone density, yeah, that's what it is, bone density.
When
Yeah.
is it? When in May?
So that would be May 7th, from 11 to 12:30. Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah, and what else? Oh, and we're planning for Pride Month. Pride Month is in June. So we're partnering with Elder Services of Worcester area, and it's gonna be on a Tuesday evening from 3:30 to 6. And, you know, the focus is on LGBTQ seniors and their friends, family members, or people who would like to know about issues facing seniors in that community. We're going to be having a dinner. It's going to be the ESWA Rainbow Supper Club. They typically have a monthly dinner, and we're going to have that here at the Senior Center in June on the 4th. And we're also going to be showing the film Gen Silent, and that's an hour-long documentary that captures the day-to-day challenges of LGBTQ seniors accessing the healthcare system and the discrimination they face doing that. So that'll be interesting, and we're also going to have a speaker, a chaplain, talk about how people can advocate for their friends and family and caring for them as well. And also a tabling event, we'll have lots of information. And we're going to be inviting Outstanding Life. Outstanding Life is an organization that started as a magazine, and they also have remote support groups for LGBTQ seniors.
What is the date of that again, please?
That would be June 4th from 3:30 to 6. So we're going to accept up to 125 reservations. ESWA will be providing that evening meal for us. So that's it.
That's the Rainbow Supper Club meal,
That's right. Yeah.
June 4. Great.
Thank you.
All right. Next.
Transportation, so special trips. So one of the things that we've been doing with the white van since we changed to the mobility management model is creating more fun trips for seniors to go on, and that's done by Pat and Donna, the office assistants, supervised by Cynthia, the transportation coordinator, and with also assistance from the part-time van drivers, since they're the ones that see the seniors hands-on and drive them around. And what we typically do is, sometimes we only get one person for a trip. If that's the case, we cancel 48 hours ahead of time because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to put out the vans on the road. But primarily, out of an entire month, we've probably only had to cancel one or two. In which case, when that happens, the van drivers then are still able to come in, get their hours, because they assist in booking special trips for the following days. We're having a lot of great reception, as I mentioned last month, from the new ideas that are coming out. Per your request, we did put the gambling hotline number into the newsletter, so that is available for people, since we've been increasing the number of times we go to the casinos. But the special trips are working out very well. Housing Authority outreach, this also has it's part of the special trips, because what's happening is Cynthia and Renee are going down to each facility multiple times in a month and updating. We bought these rolling message boards, if you will, so they update them with program flyers, brochures. We've been bringing pizza down so they can talk about the things that they're doing through transportation and outreach, and mentioning things about the senior center. And I would say that the participation has increased since they've been doing this and been more readily available to the residents of the Housing Authority. So it's been working out well.
Yeah.
For C, for programs, so just to recap on the Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon update, I hope you all enjoyed it. We certainly did. We look forward to this every year. Between the Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon and the Veterans Luncheon, those are the two luncheons that we're planning on keeping annually. I did also just speak with Jeff Farrell. He is the Veterans Service Director. So we're going to be planning an additional event for Shrewsbury veterans during FY25. So in addition to the luncheon, we are planning to have dog trainers come in. So, you know, there's needs in Princeton, and they help train animals or the dogs for veterans. So if we can't get them, Jeff said that he knows some other people. There's also a traveling veterans program that we could have come into the senior center too. So we're looking forward to collaborating together for a program like that.
Excuse me, Holly, when you say there's needs in Princeton, you mean the NEEDS organization?
Yes,
in Princeton?
KNEADS.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Opening day was yesterday. Unfortunately, Red Sox lost, but we had fun. We ordered 400 Coney Island hot dogs, and I would say we probably had 40 or so people come. We put the game on the big screen in the double room. Right from there, we went right into DJ Trivia. Not a lot of people for DJ Trivia. I think it was a little late, and I did get some feedback that there was way too much food yesterday, because we had the 400 hot dogs, and then we had Bathbusters from Leominster bring 10 pizzas for the DJ Trivia last night, and people were moving a lot slower out of the senior center than they were when they were coming in. So we'll look to separate those kind of programs in the future. But they had fun.
So how many people approximately were here for skate on for the trivia?
Well, actually, there was probably only 2 people that stayed from the opening day. The people that came in for the trivia, there was probably 15, 17 people that came. Yep. So that was fun. That was fun. The feedback was, though, as I mentioned in the program flyer, that it is an intergenerational game. There's no control over the questions that are asked, the way that program works out, but they still had a lot of fun, and they got to listen to music, so it was good. So the next one is the fan distribution. So you'll remember, it wasn't last summer, but the summer before, we gave away, I believe it was 50 air conditioners that really went well. Towards the end of it, we were having a little bit of difficulty giving away, I would say maybe a dozen. It took us a little bit of a time. So instead of redoing that work, that was just only 2 years ago, we decided to do the oscillating fans. So we purchased 50 oscillating fans from Home Depot. Actually, I do have the flyer right in front of me. We'll be giving that out in May. I believe it's also May 7th. Just waiting for my computer. It's on a Tuesday, so yes, May 7th. So from the entire time we're open on Tuesday, May 7th, people can come in, 1 per household, Shrewsbury residents only, Shrewsbury seniors only. Get ready for the summer heat. So as we talked a little bit when we were talking about the minutes, the next thing to discuss is the intergenerational volunteer program. So we get a lot of phone calls at the senior center for students to volunteer at the senior center. But unfortunately, we don't always have positions available for students because we have the seniors volunteer. However, we are noticing gaps in things that we could do with the community, but our relationship with those groups, such as the PTOs and students, student council, we need those relationships. So we did have 2 students, as I mentioned last month, that came up who are interested in running the Yahoo program for the fall, starting in the fall. And Casey and I were discussing how, with the things that Menu has suggested in the past with the, cleaning out cars, fundraising, things like that, that would be a great opportunity to have students come in and do. Again, completely run by the students under our umbrella. So we'll be supervising everything that they do. And what we're hoping is that, like I said, it will fill that community gap between the senior center and the students, and then the folks in between, so the parents and just to get more people involved. We're hoping that the FY25 will look a little bit bigger as far as the programs that we offer. Anybody have any questions on the intergenerational?
How are you going to get that moving?
So what we're introducing to the students is that we're going to pick a 1 month in 1 evening a month, kind of just like exactly what we do here. And the students will come over to the senior center. They'll meet, they'll have a chair, they'll have the vice chair, they'll have their secretary. We will give them an opportunity to be able to see what our Google Calendar is for the senior center, so they could see the room availability. So they won't be able to book anything, but they'll be able to at least give outside people the ideas of the timeframes that are available at the senior center for programs. And this would also probably increase our opportunities for the weekends too. So I have talked with some of my staff, and some of my staff are like, you know what, I would come in on a Saturday and help, grow our programs. So I want to see what the students bring. I want to see what ideas that they'll come up with, and then we kind of go with that. So this is a fresh, new opportunity. Already yesterday, next week is April vacation. Yesterday I had 2 phone calls from parents asking what do we have. So I think this will be a great idea once we can get it to flourish.
Has that information gone out to the high school, the middle schools, student councils?
Not as of yet, because what we want to do is we're going to meet with those same 2 students that came to us last month and see if they'll be, well, actually, they've already said that they will. They'll be the first ones in control of the intergenerational opportunity at the senior center. It's just finding the times between their academics and their sports to be able to get over at the senior center. So, very
Sounds like a
exciting.
great program.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
yeah, very much so.
It'll be nice if we can get friends also, like, because they also have a lot of programs.
Mhm.
So something collectively that can work, and student can work under your umbrella.
Right, yep, exactly.
Yeah, very nice.
Great. Nutrition.
Yes, nutrition. So Meals on Wheels update. So the Meals on Wheels, we are, as far as I know from Elder Services of Worcester, we are good with our volunteers. However, just like anybody, people get sick, people go on vacation, people's alarms don't go off. So some days it's a little tougher in the morning as far as volunteers assisting with Meals on Wheels. So they are still and will always collect volunteer applications, and those positions are for drivers. For drivers, they are reimbursed, I believe it's
65.
65 cents.
65, yes.
65 cents a mile. And then the other positions that are, so there is the kitchen prep. So there are people that come in and prep all the Meals on Wheels boxes. So there are people that work directly in the kitchen. Then there are the meal prep that work in the side room A, where they need to be bagged with their milks and breads and the food, and then the Meals on Wheels drivers come and they take those meals to the seniors in Shrewsbury. In addition to that, then there's congregate dining volunteers. So many of the kitchen volunteers stay from 8 o'clock all the way up until 12:30, whatever the time ending is. But Elder Services is super flexible with hours and when people can be available to help. So even if it's only 2 hours and it's not the 5 hours, they're really very receptive to it. So if anybody's interested in helping with Meals on Wheels, come to the senior center and we'll get you
And
hooked up with that.
the lunch is one of the places that they struggle with too.
Right.
Yeah, having
For
enough
staff.
volunteers, yeah.
Staff.
Okay.
What about the issue that was mentioned last month, that they might look into cutting to
So-
that program?
Yep, so I don't believe that they've gone to the state yet. I
Okay.
believe that's like April 22nd is when they're going. I haven't heard any more about the
Okay.
funding for that.
It might be a big bust.
Right. So, so in which case, that's where we'll have to really kind of dig into our formula grant and figure out where we can help with the cut costs, if that in
Yeah.
fact does happen.
That would be really surprising. With the state pushing nutrition and food insecurity, I have a hard time imagining that they would cut that. But
While we're on nutrition, I just want to, can you give an update on the food pantry, please?
Okay, yeah, so we're working with our volunteer on that, and our volunteer from the Small Home Repair Program, he's also a contractor, and he's going to be installing the cabinets, there, as well as, so he's installing the cabinets for free. However, the shelving that needs to be constructed, he will be, charging for those, for that installation. So we're waiting to see how I guess he had some things in the contract, because it's a town boilerplate contract that is, it feels like it addresses like a large corporation or something like that, and he's just a small contractor. He doesn't have workman's comp insurance, for example. He has liability insurance, so things like that. But once that gets worked out, that can happen pretty quickly.
And you're working through that with someone from the town?
Yes,
Legal
he
folks
is, yes.
Or risk?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we will be ordering the cabinet soon, and once we do that, they'll take 3 weeks to come to the senior center, and then he will be available pretty quickly to get those up and running anyways.
What's the anticipated start time of having applicants being able to use the food pantry?
So the pantry should be open in June. As far as applications, I'm not sure. We're not doing like a formal application process. People will be able to sign up and come in twice a month, every 2 weeks. And the first time the person will visit, I'll do an intake with them to see if there are other unmet needs. There'll be, volunteers who are helping with, expiration dates on food and things like that, and, potentially giving food pantry tours and opening it up and that sort of thing, so.
Is there a number at which we anticipate we can meet the needs of the townspeople, or we just don't know that yet?
No, we don't. I don't think we're gonna know that until we open up for the first few months to see how that goes, so. But, the one thing is, St. Anne's is only open for a few hours on a Monday, but we'll be open every day.
People are already hearing about it and talking about it and anxiously awaiting for the opportunity to utilize it.
Yes, yeah, and I would really like to have that expand into a home-delivered, bag of groceries for people who are homebound and things like that, so that'll be something we'll look at, down the road, depending on how everything goes, so,
Good.
yeah.
Maybe the next time we do a survey and send that out, we could add a question or two relating to food insecurity or food needs, so
Yeah.
that we can help know what a target number could be
Mm-hmm.
and see how we're doing.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
The only thing I want to end with is May's newsletter will look a little bit different. So we're going from 20 pages to 24. With that, we did reach out to committees in town who we know that sometimes struggle with getting some of their initiatives out to the community. So, for instance, we met with DEIBC, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee. They are submitting something into the newsletter each month, as well as the Trails Committee. So we welcome any committee or group related to the town to send us things. I always ask for things by the 10th of the month prior. But I think it's really good in creating those relationships too, to support everybody's initiatives in town. And it also fills our gaps. It also fills our gaps of not being able to do everything. So I can't wait to get some feedback from the board when you see the May newsletter.
I know that the foundation board at the library is offering some programs coming up. That would be another option for them to advertise.
Oh, sure.
I can certainly connect that.
Yeah, that would be
person.
great. Yep. That is all I have for my director's report.
Excuse me.
Anyone, anything else, new or old business?
I had a question.
Yes.
We had the Shrewsbury Council on Aging Board Policies and Procedures as part of our paperwork today. I wasn't sure why. Was that just a refresher, or was that anything we needed to talk about, or?
So I feel as though I've received a lot of independent emails from board members asking about the policies. So I did send a second email just saying, just so everybody has it for their own records, because I know things can get misplaced. So I just wanted to, it seemed like the right time to do that since we were having the agenda meeting. So if another question came up, we could discuss it today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do we know the date yet for the fall? I'm sure we do, but I don't. The fall MCOA meeting?
It's always in September.
Okay.
It's usually like the weekend of the 22nd, somewhere in there is usually when it is.
Okay, in case any board members want to attend.
Yeah, and it will be in Brewster, right? Because don't they go every other year? Local here, it was Danvers this year, and I think it
Where
might
do you
be,
think it'll be this year?
it might be in Brewster,
In Brewster.
yeah.
It's been in Sturbridge, it's been in Springfield, it's been anywhere. Yep. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, if you could let us know the date.
When I find out, I will certainly let you.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else? If not, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.